Anderson, founder of Clarinet Mentors. Today I have a practice tool for you to try when you're working on your fast, technical, challenging music. Now I have some other videos on different tricks we can use to help move our fingers faster. This is a little bit of a different approach. I find sometimes when we have those bits that are really hard and with fast notes, we get so focused on the finger technique, we lose track of the underlying musicality. Now, of course, it is important to focus on the finger technique, making sure we have relaxed, light fingers, perhaps practicing the music in different patterns to allow us to have it feel more easy and to get it into our fingers. But beyond that point, the music won't sound interesting unless we're still really clear what the underlying phrase is. So I want to show you a technique that I use with myself and my own students, and it's kind of a fun one. I encourage you to try it on your own. It's just another way for looking for the inner musicality of the music that we're working on. Now this technique will apply to challenging music of any level for you. We use it for stuff where generally our fingers are moving really fast. So commonly this would be a passage of music with lots of 16th notes. The sample I'm choosing to demonstrate with today is a more advanced piece. It's the third movement from the Poulenc Sonata for Clarinet. Just because this is one that I find a lot of people get so wrapped up in all the hard, fast notes, they often forget to look for the music underneath it. But you can use this technique on any piece that you find challenging for you. What we're going to do is take a section where it is written as fast 16th notes, and we're going to pretend like it's a slow, beautiful, expressive etude. Now normally we wouldn't play something like this slowly and expressively, but it's a great way for us to find the inner music within it. So for example, let's look at the very opening bar or two of this piece. Here's how I often find people doing it. They're like, okay, I'm going to get the technique. It's very aggressive, it's very fast, it's very flashy, and it just kind of pounds away. You know, poof, lots of sound. Now I'm playing it with lots of sound. Sounds okay. I'm not paying any attention at all to where the music would go. So here's just a tool to help you figure out what would the music be like. Generally, I find that we would express it the same way at high speeds as we would at slow speeds, although sometimes we'll create longer phrases when it's faster. If this was a slow, beautiful etude, I might do it a little differently. How would I do it? And I would play with it. You all have your own natural sense of expression. 3 different people might phrase that very, very differently. When I did it, really seemed to me like it needs to crescendo through the middle of the line, and then maybe it comes down. If I were to continue on, now, of course, it very much changes the character of the piece to let go of the staccato, to let go of the accents, but it's an exercise. You'll notice when I did it in slow motion, really felt to me like the second bar is aiming for the downbeat of the third bar. And it's a lovely way to express it. Yet most people, when they're really just focused on technique, their loudest note is their highest note. So they end up with something like kind of boring. If we remember our underlying phrase is to take us through to the downbeat there, it's a lot more exciting. So we're just putting more emphasis on the F. So the way I found that phrase was I put it into slow motion and I discovered it. Sometimes I'll actually have my students slow it way, way down and then pencil in their crescendos and their diminuendos as they think it makes sense to them. I'm going to jump to the third bar. We have all these fast 30-second notes that again are tricky. So much time, people are so focused on getting the speed, there's no phrase there. If I turned it into a beautiful slow piece, I might add some music to it. Now, of course, I'm not staying entirely true to the rhythm as I'm doing that, but I'm really just treating it like a slow, expressive etude. What do I discover? Well, I discover that the 30-second notes really need to lean to the quarter note, and the quarter notes are special. They deserve a little bit of a lean on them, and then we back off a bit. Now Poulenc has put an accent on them, so that's the lean. I don't think it's meant to be a real hard accent, which is often what happens. A lot of time I hear people going, we sort of scramble through it, we accent those notes. So we're losing track of how we want the 32nd notes to go in. So I might take the first one, do it really slowly with my focus on expression, and then gradually speed it up. Until I'm happy with the speed and I'm happy that I'm doing the little musical taper at the end. Now sometimes when we're doing it really slow, we might put in an entire phrase in a short pattern that just doesn't make sense when we speed it up. But what I do love about this technique is it gets our brains thinking about the phrase and really tuned into it, which sometimes just gets overlooked. So you could apply this to any piece of music that has 16th notes. Turn it into a slow, beautiful piece. Sometimes that's even one beat per note, and you'll find the inner phrase within it. It's a great way for us to focus on what our breath is doing. I guarantee you, if you do it slowly and you're hearing weird gaps in the airstream or accents, you're doing it when you're playing it quickly, but now you can bring it into your attention and correct it at a super slow speed. So this is a little bit different tact than playing it slowly to work on our fingers. We're playing it slowly to work on the direction of our air and ensuring that it's supporting the beautiful music that's in our heads. Great little practice tool. I encourage you to try it at home with whatever music you're working on, and I would love to hear from you. You'll notice underneath this video there's a comments box where you can put in your questions or comments or share any techniques you use in a similar fashion. I do read those comments and I'll put in my own response to you if you have any questions for me. I would like to invite you to join the Clarinet Mentors community absolutely free if you're not already a member. Simply go to www.learnclarinetnow.com and you'll see a place to enter your name and email address. Once you're part of my community, you have access to all of my various educational videos that have been posted on YouTube and on the Clarinet Mentors website. And every 2 weeks, I send out a newsletter that has my favorite clarinet pointers for all of you, and also gadgets I've run across, music I've run across, anything that I think would be of interest to clarinet players worldwide. I invite you to join that, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Thanks for watching.